Hey guys, I'm doing a quick and easy ham and fig quiche. This is a $5 recipe. I'm using the 5 ingredients you see here. They were all purchased at the Dollar Tree, and here's what they are. We're using the Daniel Boone Inn brand country ham. This is biscuit cut. It's 3 ounces, and this is $1. This is from North Carolina. I'm using a bag of the Orchard Choice bite-sized mission figs. I'm using a container of Hahn's soft cream cheese. This is 6 ounces of cream cheese. I'm using some of this Nancy Jane all-purpose flour. And I'm using 6 Hillendale Farm grade A medium eggs. So here's the country ham. Country ham is known for being super salty. If you've never had it before, I guess the closest comparison would be to like a prosciutto. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop up this country ham, and then we're going to add it to a pot and we're going to saute it. So here's the chopped up country ham. I'm going to add this to the pot. So the ham is in the pot. The pot is on the burner, and the burner is at medium. So we're going to let this cook, and we're going to let the fat render down. And while this is cooking, we're going to chop up the figs. So here are the figs out of the package. This is what they look like. Now the first thing you want to do is make sure you chop off the little stem ends of these figs, because you don't want to eat those. So chop off the ends first and then chop off the figs. So the ham has been sauteing for about 5 minutes while I chopped up the figs. It stuck to the bottom of the pan a little bit. I lowered the heat to about medium-low. So here's what the figs look like all chopped up. The next thing I'm going to do is take the figs, add them to the pot with the ham. So I've added the figs to the pot, and we're going to stir them together with the ham. We're going to let the flavors combine, and we are going to move on to the next ingredient, which will be the cheese. So I'm going to turn the heat off on this because we want to add the egg mixture soon, and we don't want the eggs to totally like scramble and cook in this pot. We're going to add some cold water, and we're going to add the cream cheese to make it creamy, and then we're going to add some beaten eggs. So I'm adding 6 ounces or 2/3 cup of water to the pot. And what that's going to do is that's going to bring up some of the caramelized bits on the bottom. It's going to cool the pot down because that was very cold water. See how it's already formed like a gravy? So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add the cream cheese. So I just added the cream cheese, and the next thing I want to do is I want to stir everything around to melt the cream cheese in the mixture. Here's what the mixture looks like with the cheese almost totally melted in. I'm not going to melt it all the way. I think this is good enough. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add about 2/3 cup of the flour, and I'm going to stir that in. Here's what it looks like with the flour all stirred in. It's almost looking kind of like a dough. The next thing I'm going to do is mix in the eggs. So I've beaten all the eggs. This is 6 medium eggs beaten. It's about 1 cup of beaten eggs. I'm going to add this to the mixture, and I'm going to stir it in. So here's what the mixture looks like after the eggs have been stirred in. It's really the consistency of kind of like a thick pancake batter. The next thing I want to do is I want to pour this into a greased pie dish or small baking dish or casserole dish. I'm using an 8.5-inch round. So it ends up that I don't have any pie plates anymore. I don't know where all my pie dishes went. So I found this. This is a Corningware 8.5-inch round buffet server type thing, but you could also bake in it. So I'm going to use this. I've greased the inside with a little bit of olive oil, and I'm going to add the mixture to this pan. Here's what the mixture looks like in the pan. If you want, you can add some salt or pepper to it, but I think this ham is really salty on its own, so I'm not going to add anything. You could also add some seasonings if you want, like some thyme or Italian seasonings or basil. I just sprinkled a bit of dried thyme over the top of this just because I really like using herbs and spices, and I thought it would be nice with a little more of an herbal flavor. You definitely don't have to. I'm sure it will be fine without it also. So I just put it in the oven, and the oven's at 350 degrees. It's been preheated. I'm gonna let this cook for 45 minutes. So here's what it looks like after 55 minutes in the oven. I left it in a little bit longer because the middle still had not risen. The sides had risen, but I wanted the middle to rise also. So this is what it looks like. It's nicely browned, and the entire top has risen. So it should be cooked all the way through. I'm going to take this out. I'm going to let it cool for half hour. So here's what it looks like fresh out of the oven, and the top is most likely going to deflate. I wonder if I could do a time lapse on this. Okay, so it's been cooling for 15 minutes and it smells so good, and I am so hungry that I can't wait another 15 minutes. So I'm gonna cut into this and I'm gonna serve me a slice, and let's take a look at what it looks like inside. So here's what a slice looks like. I was able to just pop it out with a knife. It held together really well. Inside you can see just all different layers of the ham and the figs, and then the kind of like eggy batter. This isn't really, you know, a strictly traditional quiche. It's more kind of like an impossible pie, if you're familiar with those kind of things. It's real simple to make, and I think it looks, you know, really sophisticated, right? So let's give it a taste. Oh my god, that is just so good. I'm kind of amazing myself with this because I never made this before. I didn't even have a recipe to go off of. I just kind of threw it together off the top of my head. This is really good. Let me try to explain to you what kind of flavors are going on here. So we have these figs, which are soft, but they're still a bit chewy. And they taste like figs, so they're sweet, but they have like an earthiness to them. Then we have the country ham, which is salty, and it's a bit firmer. It's not as chewy as the figs, and the saltiness counteracts the sweetness of the figs. Then we have the cheese batter and the eggs, which adds creaminess and a salty texture and a nice savoriness. And then I put the dried thyme on top, which gives a little bit of an herbal flavor. This is really good. Like, if you made this and then if you cut it up and you served it, nobody would ever know this is from a Dollar Tree. So this entire ham and fig pie cost $5 to make. Everything was purchased at the Dollar Tree. There was no MSG, no high fructose corn syrup, no trans fats, no soy, no vegetable oils. It's all natural. It's healthy. And I think this serves 4 people. Like, if you cut this into 4 pieces instead of 8 pieces, that would be a nice size meal. If you want to add maybe a salad or something else to it, that's fine. But this is definitely pretty rich because of all the eggs and the cheese and the ham. And that is my Dollar Tree Gourmet Quick and Easy Fig and Ham Quiche, or we could also call it an impossible pie. Thank you so much for watching. If you saw anything you liked here, please give the video a thumbs up, and please subscribe if you'd like me to post more videos. Thanks again. Have a great day. Bye.